And welcome back to Open Your Eyes Hump Day, and we've got some wonderful conversations lined up. We're now moving into our second segment though, and in this one we've got reps of the Social Security Board that will be telling us all about online scholarship process. And to tell us more about it, we've got Chandra Cansino, who is the General Manager of the Social Security Board, and Mowava Garcia, who's the Corporate Relations Officer at the Social Security Board. Ladies, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Marlene. Good morning, Belize.
I tell you what, it's nice to see both of you, and we're so happy, especially in a pandemic whereby we've got some scholarship opportunities available, especially for our graduates, who we've got so many of them graduating at this point. So let's venture off into that. The Social Security Board and their scholarship opportunities. How can one qualify for it?
All right, so to start off, let me just give you brief historical information on the program. It all started in 2001 with a vision to provide opportunities to those in need of scholarships who would like to develop themselves academically, but due to financial constraints, they're unable to do so. To date, we have provided scholarships to over 800 students,
Wow.
giving them academic success and just bettering them off in the community at large. This year, we're going to be offering a total of 56 scholarship opportunities. Of that 56, 31 will be for high school, 17 is for associate degree scholarships, 5 are for those wanting to pursue vocational technical opportunities, and 3 are for those wanting to pursue bachelor's degrees. Wow. So we have 56, and that is a large number, 56 opportunities for persons to acquire opportunities for higher learning. Now, when it comes to how to qualify for our scholarships, we look at 4 major areas. The first being financial need. We need our applicants to demonstrate to us their economic situation and why is it that they are in need of the scholarship, right? We recognize that this year, the situation is even more dire, seeing as how so many people have been affected by COVID-19. So we anticipate that we will be receiving a lot of applications, but one thing they can rest assured is that we are here to offer support, and we look forward to receiving all those applications. But I divert, so let me regress. Aside from the financial aspect, the second qualifying condition is that they must be able to demonstrate academic potential. It is an investment that the board is making, so we want to be sure that they can successfully complete the program of study within the required period of time. The third aspect is that they must be born Belizeans. And lastly, they must be a first-year student, meaning that they must be transitioning from one level of study to the next. So if you recently completed high school and you are now looking for a scholarship to go to sixth form, then you are eligible for one of our scholarships, as opposed to someone who is already enrolled in a program of study, they already did, let's say, 1 year of their associate's degree, then that person would not be eligible, because we want to be with the applicants from the beginning to the end. You know, so those are the 4 things: financial need, academic potential, born Belizean, and a first-year student.
I want to zoom in on that academic potential, because I'm not hearing you say academic criteria. So it seems that, you know, it's not necessarily, sometimes people are smart and doing well, but they're not 4.0, and they're fearful of not applying. They're fearful of applying for scholarships because they think, you know, all the 4.0s will get. Will you still encourage someone who's doing well in school to apply, even though they haven't gotten top marks?
Absolutely, and that is the reason why we worded it that way, because we want them to understand that they can apply. You know, we're not looking for people who had 4.0 throughout the entire years of their academic career. We are looking for people who have financial issues, and also people who have been demonstrating over the years that they have a urge for learning. You know, they have consistently shown development over the years. It's not that you must be an A student, a 4.0 student throughout. Once you can demonstrate to us that you've been trying over the years, that is something that we look at as well.
Excellent.
I like that you clear that up, because you know, students must understand that it's not because you're not 4.0 or you feel you might not be 4.0, meaning that you're not able to get a scholarship. I think that a scholarship simply means it affords you an opportunity for higher learning. I also want to get to Chandra, because I know you don't raise your hand, but we're coming to you. Let's talk about SSB and the opportunity, affording the opportunity of giving scholarships, especially in a pandemic whereby people are flocking to Social Security, trying to get some funds. Talk to us about how you're able to afford this.
Well, just to backtrack just one briefly on the topic of the criteria for the scholarships.
Yes.
What we find, which is perfectly understandable, is that a lot of the top scorers from all the various schools apply to all the scholarship programs. Because they have they have a chance of certainly getting one of the scholarships, and so we find that they apply to several of the scholarship programs, and then they end up being able to choose which scholarship program they want simply because they qualify for all of them, and would leave spaces open for persons who may not have even applied and would be able to qualify. So we do encourage persons who are not necessarily 4.0s to apply for the scholarships, and as long as you are somebody that has been completing the grade point of about
80%.
80 to 85%, we encourage you to submit an application if you fill the other criteria as well. In regards to the scholarship program, John, the board had committed to this program for, remind me how many years?
This year makes 19 years.
19 years.
Wow.
And it is something that we budget for from the previous year. So this has been budgeted for. Hopefully it will be budgeted for again next year after we review all of the financials and the situation that we are in today. But certainly we are able to offer the 56 scholarships simply because it is a commitment from the Social Security Board of Directors. It is something that the CEO, or Dr. Young, was very passionate about, because the improvement of our young people by education is really very important to the board, and so it is not an area that I think we will be cutting on anytime soon.
Yeah. Now, it's actually late for scholarship cycles, and I'd imagine that this is one of the side effects of the pandemic in your scheduling.
Definitely, we had aimed to to actually start announcing our scholarships very early on in April.
Yeah,
But it was that time when we noticed that schools, they were closing, they were not, it was very unclear if they were going to be reopening. So we made the decision to just push it back a little further, to just give persons the time to, just kind of stabilize themselves and get the documents that they need to apply for the scholarships. So we've extended the application deadline up until June 26th, and that's next week Friday, up to next week Friday, yes. Up to when we last run the report, we have a total of 130 applicants who have submitted their application, but we still have a large number of about 700 other persons who have created an account on our online portal who are still pending submission. So this looks like this year is going to be a wild ride, but we definitely stand ready, and we're here to kick all our efforts into overdrive to provide opportunities to every single person that we can.
Wow.
That is a stunning amount of potential applications. And that really was going to be my next question. While I did recognize that this was a bit late in what a normal application cycle would be, it's actually perfectly timed, because parents who perhaps thought they could afford sending their child to high school or university may no longer be employed and can no longer do so. So there may be more people in need for, and based on the application numbers you're seeing, definitely so, more in need of a scholarship this time around. And I want to go back to the criteria part, because that's also critical in looking at what these students have been through in this last semester. There are two things. There's the academic potential. I love that you guys clarified it for what it is, because there are people who are really hard workers in school that do well, maybe not top of the class, but still hard workers that are deserving. And of course, sometimes when families have a financial struggle, it means that I may spend majority of my after school hours babysitting or holding another job or not being able to dedicate all that time to schoolwork as I should be able to. So what type of sensitivity are you going to employ in your screening process, recognizing that this has just been one of the toughest semesters for these children?
Yeah, well, what we do, the thing is, when we went back to the drawing board, we completely know that this year is going to be so unorthodox.
Yeah.
And we have to review some of the strategies that we normally utilize.
Yeah.
But what is consistent is that we use a point system, and applicants, when we're shortlisting and reviewing the applications, they garner points based on the economic situation of the family, based on their financial position. So if we have a scale of 1 to 5, if we have a family who has an income of, let's say, $10,000 annually, that student automatically gets 5 points when it comes to financial need, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the grade component, we have that same scale in place where it ranks from 100 to 95, and it decreases and so on and so forth. They garner points based on their academic credentials, but the weight of the points is mostly applied to the financial need. So we look at both sides of the spectrum. Then we move over into the second phase, whereby we read the essays. Now, this is an extremely emotional part of this program.
I can imagine.
Our team, who at the end of most days go home crying because it is so heavy, but it is the reality for so many people in our country. And we give points based on the essay, so that's a big part as well, that we request them to just not be afraid, to just be as vocal as possible. Tell us what your situation is as best as you can, using the written word, and from that, you gain more points. So we're going to accumulate your financial need points, your academic points, and your essay points. That determines if you are going to advance to an interview. So those are the three main aspects when it comes to determining who advances for an interview.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying, you said those stories, and I can only imagine that, what seems to be the typical theme that you hear from students each year?
The typical theme, most essays would normally start with them telling us that they come from a single parent household where their mother has been the breadwinner, and she has been doing every single thing in her power to provide for them. And it is so heartbreaking to see that is the situation so many of us are facing, that the fathers are non-existent, and we just have these women who are superheroes. They keep pushing for these children despite that they don't even know where their next meal is coming from. But they do everything in their power to do anything they can to advance their children. So that's the most common theme, that they come from a single parent household, and their mom has been doing everything she can to give them better opportunities.
Well, I couldn't be on that panel. I'll cry many days.
Because
of how emotional
it's a
it is.
very, very difficult task. We even get to the point where some of us, it's so difficult to choose in some cases. But the staff participates in the interviews, and then we add objective persons from outside that come in and read the essays and assign the points. So we try to make the procedure as objective as we possibly can, and involve the staff in the selection as well.
When is the deadline for applications?
The deadline for applications is the 26th of June, which is next week, Friday.
All right, so you're doing online application. Let's walk through this process so we make sure people are doing it right. You have to open an account, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
They would have to access our website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. And when you get on our website, you have to go to the tab that has online services. And under online services, there is the online scholarship portal option for them to select. That takes them directly to the scholarship portal, and it gives them a homepage for them to create their account that involves using simply your email address and a password. So from there, they get an email confirmation, and it takes them over to the portal where they complete the online application. It's just like any other normal hard copy application. You're going to input your biographical information, your family's financial information. They need to scan and upload their essays, their social security card, their report cards, and all the other relevant documents. And from there, they hit submit. So it's really simple. You're just inputting your data and uploading your documents.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Any common mistakes that people make that you'd
should
want to
correct,
help
yeah.
them not make this time around?
A common mistake would be them uploading the wrong document in the relevant slot. So where we would have the essay, somebody would maybe put their social security card. It's minor errors like that. But what we try to do is we don't want to disenfranchise anybody. So when we come across that, we use the contact information that they provided and we give them a phone call just to let them know that they made a mistake and have them send the correct document over to us so we could revise it.
So contact information is extremely important that
Yes.
they get that right.
Yes. Don't make a mistake with your email address or phone number.
Right.
Yes, but what I do recommend is for them to just review the application, At the end, you go ahead and you review what you've inputted just to make sure that you did it the right way. And also on that online scholarship portal, we have a tutorial video just as a guide to help everybody to know what they need to do and how to get it done correctly.
All right.
All right. So that website once again is
www.socialsecurity.org.bz.
all right. Well, it's clear.
And so once again, those scholarships, you have 56 to give away. Tell us
Yes.
the breakdown once again.
Sure. It is 31 for high school, 5 for vocational technical, 17 for associate degree, and 3 bachelor's degree scholarships.
And they must be at the starting point of that journey. So
Yes.
entering high school, entering junior college, entering university, entering VOTEC.
Yes, that is correct.
And Marlene, I think last year we had brought it up, and so I just wanted to remind this year, for whatever reason, we get a very low application number for the VOTEX scholarships. I don't know if perhaps people are not aware of them. Those are like the IT vet courses that people can learn a trade,
Yeah.
they can learn a skill. And so I would encourage persons out there who would be interested in these types of scholarships to apply. I don't know if the process is it's the same process.
It's the same.
So if you're out there and you want to learn a skill, you want to learn a trade, please take the opportunity and apply for the VOTEC scholarships, because for whatever reason, that's the area where we have the lowest application intake.
All right, I think we're missing one of the most important points here. While we ask for the students to apply for the scholarships, they might want to know what all does a scholarship provide, or what all is the coverage of a scholarship.
All right, so the coverage varies based on the type of scholarship. When it comes to high school, we grant $1,200 for the year. So we pay the fees first, and the balance of the scholarship is deposited to the parents' account for them to purchase the books, the uniforms, and whatever else they may deem necessary for the child. That is for VOTEC and for high school. When it comes to the associate and bachelor's degree scholarship, the fees are a bit higher, so we use the entirety of the scholarship to pay the fees as opposed to depositing any portion to the student who applies for the scholarship. So we always cover all the fees every semester. That is what we're going to do. When it comes to the monetary amount, when it comes to the sixth form scholarships, the value, we issue $4,000
For sixth form.
for sixth form. Yes, $4,000 for sixth form. That is $1,000 per semester. And when it comes to the bachelor scholarship, we do $5,000 per year.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Once again, that deadline is June 26th. The application forms are online on the Social Security website, and you said there is a tutorial video there, so if people need some added help. And I also know you guys are great with your Facebook response, so people can message you there for help too, right?
Yes, they definitely can.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for joining us and telling us all about it, and best of luck sorting through those applicants. All right.
having us.
Thank you.
And what a conversation. We are about to take a break. When we come back, did you know that International Yoga Day is actually on June 21st? Well, there are activities leading up to that, and presenter Michelle Williams will be in to tell us all about it. So stay with us. We'll be right back.